And what is up, gang? Thank you for checking out Sledgehammer TV today. This Sunday, the WWE presents to us Hell in a Cell. 8 matchups, 5 from SmackDown Live and 3 from Monday Night Raw. And we are going to go up and down the entire card with our preview and predictions right now. My name is Nick Nightmare, and you're watching the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show's Hell in a Cell preview. Let's do it.
Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
All right, wrestling fans, thank you so much for joining me. Welcome back to the channel again this week. We are looking forward to this weekend's Hell in a Cell. I'm not really looking forward to it. Like I told you guys, we got 8 matchups on this card, only one of which I truly give a shit about. Only one of which that I really want to see. And the only match on this card that has the intensity and the angst and has the personal standing behind it that gives it the feel and gives it a reason and gives it relevance to be held inside of a Hell in a Cell. And that matchup is AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe for the WWE Championship. But that is a match that was not booked inside Hell in a Cell. Instead, we get 2 matchups that do not really have the proper heat built behind them to need to be settled inside a Hell in a Cell. I understand what Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton are bringing to the table. They are 10, 15 year, 20 year veterans of the ring. They can put on a great match. They've been telling a decent story on SmackDown Live, but it just doesn't have that feel that it needs to be inside a Hell in a Cell. This is just another one of those instances where WWE is taking 2 big names, throwing them in the cage, and hoping you give a shit. I really don't, although I expect this to be some sort of an entertaining matchup, but that match doesn't need to be in a Hell in a Cell. As we all already know, Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman for the Universal Championship does not need to be inside the Hell in a Cell. I don't give a shit that you brought Mick Foley into this thing. Mick Foley's involvement in this Hell in a Cell matchup, his value is a big fat 0. There is nothing that he is going to add to this Hell in a Cell match. Do you want to see Mick Foley being thrown around? You want to see Braun Strowman hit him with a choke slam or a running power slam? Do you want to see him accidentally get Superman punched by Roman Reigns? I don't want to see any of this. I don't want to see Mick Foley anywhere near a wrestling ring. His involvement doesn't make sense. You want to make it unpredictable. You want to get people interested. You want to bring in a special guest referee. Why not bring in Paul Heyman? Somebody like Paul Heyman would generate a lot more interest than a returning retired legend whose only reason for being there was because he's been in the best Hell in a Cell match that there ever was. You put Paul Heyman in there, the possibilities are endless. You're going to think, oh, is Brock Lesnar going to show up? Is Braun Strowman possibly the next Paul Heyman guy? Is Roman Reigns in line with Paul Heyman? How is this going to play out? We would not be able to call that at all. They probably wouldn't do anything near as interesting as that. But on another point, you could even have brought in Constable Dickhead Baron Corbin. You could have brought him in there, made himself self-appointed referee of the main event. You know, flexing his muscle, throwing his weight around. We don't know what his intention would be for doing so. He, as well, doesn't really belong in that scenario, but at least it would make it unpredictable and interesting. Putting Mick Foley in there makes it scary and makes it feel desperate and makes it feel like, hey, look at me, we're here in Hell in a Cell and we got the best Hell in a Cell legend ever. Look at me. I don't want to look at you. I don't want to see this matchup. Mick Foley has no reason to be there. He is only there, just like the reason Roman Reigns had Braun Strowman at ringside for the SummerSlam main event, to soften the blow. Braun Strowman was dangling the Money in the Bank contract out there like he was going to cash in at the end of the show, and we got absolutely nothing. He was only there as a distraction, as a reason for us to not shit all over the Roman Reigns match. Do you think Mick Foley has enough star power still left in his tank to stop a arena full of fans from voicing displeasure if they feel like they have to boo Roman Reigns. He's not going to protect him at all. And any of you idiots that are sitting there that night that want to get all excited about Mick Foley in a Hell in a Cell, if he's not wrestling, which God forbid he does, we do not want to see that, what is his value? Exactly what I told you guys. A big fluffy donut, just like Mick Foley has become in his old age. It just makes no sense, and I don't like it. And then what else are we going to have? We're going to have 2 women's title matches, right, that have been set up to fail by the WWE. Ronda Rousey versus Alexa Bliss. No matter who wins, we lose. Ronda Rousey is not ready to be sitting atop the WWE Women's Division, Raw, SmackDown, NXT. I understand her past accolades, but she is not proven in this forum. She's a great UFC fighter. She is a mediocre wrestler at best. It's not her fault. She is very green. She is still learning, still training. There is a place for a Ronda Rousey on a wrestling show. As you're trying to build her up, her place is not at the top right now. That time will come. That time is not now. Alexa Bliss winning this matchup. Who wants to see that, right? Why would we want to see another reign for Alexa Bliss? The WWE might have a plan in place for that. I hope to God that is not the case. We'll talk a little bit more about that as we go down the match card. But nobody wins in that scenario. Ronda will continue to be Ronda and bring notoriety to the women's division while simultaneously embarrassing it with her wrestling ability and the lack of decent opponents that the WWE is giving her to dance with. And then, like we said, Alexa winning just brings us right back to the beginning where this all began, and it's just been miserable, and I don't want to see it again. As far as SmackDown Live is concerned, that mess with the women's situation, if Charlotte wins this match, it absolutely kills Becky Lynch completely. All the work, everything that they have done, building her up, regardless of the current situation with the heel babyface dynamic, will be extinguished with a clean victory by the Queen this Sunday, and I do not want to see that happen. And if Becky wins, it's actually going to spit right in the face of the story the WWE is trying to tell. When the fans celebrate the victorious and triumphant Becky Lynch finally getting her vengeance, taking down that best friend that stabbed her in the back and took her moment at SummerSlam, she's going to be vehemently cheered. And that's not what the WWE wants. Do you think they are going to reward her for the fans' lack of acceptance for Becky Lynch's heel turn, which they are still fully going forward with? There were no side steps. They weren't trying to change things. For one fleeting moment, they allowed the fans to cheer. You can't control a live crowd. But when you go back and watch it on WWE.com, all of our reactions are removed because they are sticking to the narrative, and it is not going to do what the WWE wants it to do to the fans. This match will probably be the better of the 2 matchups that we are going to have to see for women's titles. But the heel-face dynamic being completely out of place the way it has been over the last few weeks makes this entire matchup feel a lot less important and a whole lot less special than it should be. So that's how we're kicking it off. That's my opening statement, my little opening salvo for you guys, telling you guys my overall feeling of the entire show, which I'm sure you guys feel the exact same way. But for now, let's get going with the rest of this card. Let's hit the Hell in a Cell match screen and burn through these 8 matches that are going to ruin our Sunday night, which happens to be my birthday, by the way. Thank you, WWE, for planning a pay-per-view that is going to ruin the evening that I turn 41 years of age. You stupid, nonsensical motherfuckers. Anyway, let's go hit that match screen right now. We're going to start off with match number 1 being Randy Orton versus Jeff Hardy. This match taking place inside Hell in a Cell. We talked about it a little bit at the beginning. Randy Orton has been on a tear since returning to his villainous ways, and Jeff Hardy is absolutely nuts. This is his moment to get some payback, and it will probably get him to do some sort of ridiculous and crazy spot that we do not need to see him do, and it just might be the reason to lead to his demise, as my pick will be Randy Orton to win this matchup, which might lead to some sort of a switch going off in Jeff Hardy's head, maybe a screw or two come loose, and we see the emergence of Brother Nero on SmackDown Live? Maybe. Let's see. That's the best I can come up with for that scenario. Otherwise, this whole entire feud really is just... It's been a little fun, but inside of Hell in a Cell, a little much. The Raw Tag Team Championship. We are going to see Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose taking on the champions Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre. Every single move the WWE has made here, from reuniting the Shield, sacrificing Dean Ambrose's return, making Seth Rollins' Intercontinental Championship title reign completely disappear, Braun's early Money in the Bank cash-in, and then subsequent turn, leads me to believe Rollins and Ambrose win this match easily to give Roman's team all the gold. Seth Rollins blackmailed Baron Corbin to get this match, and considering the seediness of it all, I fully expect the Shield, if they do win, to have a very short reign, probably ending 24 hours later on Monday Night Raw. I also expect this to be a great match. Seth Rollins is a match of the night making machine. Dolph Ziggler is the best I've actually seen him be in the last couple of years. McIntyre is ready to burst out with a great matchup, and Dean Ambrose is Dean Ambrose. So this should be a good contest. Neither team should really be the Raw Tag Team Champions here, but I'm picking Rollins and Ambrose to win the titles for all the reasons that I told you guys just a second ago. Roman Reigns. Number 3, let's move along to the SmackDown Live Women's Championship match. The champion, the Queen, Charlotte Flair, is going to go up against Straight Fire Becky Lynch. Like I said, the failure of the fans to go along with evil backstabber Becky is not going to allow the WWE to reward her with a title win here. However, I wouldn't be surprised to see Becky win, only to lose it back to Charlotte in a couple of weeks at the Evolution pay-per-view. My heart wants it for Becky. My head says WWE will stick with their queen, but I just cannot pick against Straight Fire Becky Lynch. Like everybody else in the world, I want to see her succeed, I want to see her win, and I want to see her as SmackDown Live Women's Champion. While we're talking about champions, let's talk about the WWE Champion, also residing on SmackDown Live, AJ Styles and Samoa Joe. This is the match I am most looking forward to seeing. It has been amping up week after week, turning up the volume on the tension between the two men, but I think the champ comes out on top once again, getting some measure of revenge on Joe for all of the bullshit he has put him through in the last couple of weeks. But my hope that regardless of the ending of this match, that it is not the end of the program between Joe and Styles. I would love to see Joe's work be rewarded with his first WWE title win eventually, but Vince only has room for one Samoan in his heart and in his pants, and he is very, very happy as of late with the performance of AJ Styles. So my pick to win is going to be the phenomenal AJ Styles. I just have no reason to believe otherwise, except that I love Samoa Joe. Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella versus The Miz and Maurice. This match is just a speed bump on our way to the next Daniel Bryan and Miz encounter. I don't really care about this match at all. It doesn't really mean anything to anyone. The best we can hope for watching this matchup is that Brie Bella and Maurice shock the entire world and actually wrestle a hell of a match. But I don't expect that to happen at all. All of the entertainment is most likely going to come from Daniel Bryan and The Miz And just because I'm going to pick yes mode, Brie and Daniel to win this match. I have no real feeling. There's nothing behind my decision. There is no factors playing into it. I'm just picking Daniel and Brie just because that's how I feel about this match. It's just happening just because they don't know what else to do, and they don't want to keep giving us Daniel versus The Miz one-on-one just yet, which I guess I could appreciate, but this match is very, very unnecessary. You might be looking forward to it. I certainly am not. Moving along to the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships, the New Day is going to be taking on Rusev Day in a battle of the days. Day versus Day. Which one's superior? Who really gives a shit? A title match between two babyface teams is one of the most uninteresting things you can give to me. The only thing interesting is to see which way the fans are going to be going on this night. I don't know who the hell anybody's going to cheer for. I'm assuming everybody's going to be over for Rusev Day. Everybody's been waiting to celebrate Rusev Day with some championship gold. I don't expect that to be the case. I also don't expect too much here, as the third member of the New Day will be looming on the outside, as will Lana, as will the pancakes and the trombone and the nonsense. So what happens when you take that and you add it all together? It equals that this match will at some point become a joke. There will be some sort of comedy before all is said and done, and I don't think it's going to be a happy Rusev Day, and the New Day probably retains, leading Rusev Day to its recently teased and eventual breakup, if we're lucky. Next up, the Raw Women's Championship matchup, Alexa Bliss versus Ronda Rousey. Surely we are going to see Natty and Mickie James and Alicia outside the ring during this matchup. If this match seriously is anything less than an obliteration of Little Miss Bliss in under 3 minutes, then it is an epic failure. Like I said, no matter who wins this match, we are all the biggest losers here. My biggest concern is that the WWE is going to go with Ronda's injured ribs story and use that as the reason for Alexa Bliss to get the win, and have Alexa versus Trish for the title at Evolution and get the championship away from the planned Ronda Rousey versus Brie Bella main event of that said pay-per-view. But I doubt that's truly the plan. That would be something that would go against the WWE's MO, as they're going to want to keep Ronda at the top of the game. So Ronda Rousey is going to win probably a piss-poor matchup between the two, and like I said, hopefully it doesn't last longer than about 3 to 5 minutes max. Then, of course, the main event, Vince's wet dream of the evening, Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman inside the Hell in a Cell for the Universal Championship, with Mick Foley as the special guest referee. God damn, that was a mouthful to say. Shows you how much they're overbooking this match, and it's all done just for Roman Reigns. Hopefully, we see nothing at all from Foley. I want no bumps, no physical contact. Just let him be a referee. And in all honesty, Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman have some pretty good chemistry over the last couple of years, and the quality of this match may not be as bad as we are all expected, even with Foley being a little bit of a crutch inside the ring. But I'm so bored of it already, and it hasn't even started yet. It's going to be a spot fest involving the cage in a few areas, with Roman's 3 moves of doom and an overbooked comeback victory for Vince McMahon's real baby boy, Vince McMahon's love of his life, Mr. Roman Reigns. I will be shocked as shit if Braun Strowman wins, even though I hope he does. Braun Strowman is cashing in his Money in the Bank in this matchup, and he does not belong on a list of failed Money in the Bank cash-ins, but that's most likely what is going to happen at the end of Hell in a Cell this Sunday. Just even talking about this show, I have nothing to really be excited about. Do you? Tell me in the comment section down below what you're truly excited about, because I'm not excited about a goddamn thing. This show is a train wreck. It was booked terribly. You got Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy with a decent story. You got Styles and Joe with the best story going into this thing. You're derailing Daniel Bryan and The Miz. And all of the other championship matchups. 5 championship matchups on this night. 6 championship matchups. How many do you think we're going to see change? Most likely 0. If anything, just Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. Because they got to get all the gold around the hounds of justice so that they can be even stronger than the dogs of war, Mr. McMahon, so I can't fucking stand it. So, all that being said, I hope you guys come back here and check out the review of the show, because I have a feeling this hammer's going to drop down even harder than it did here tonight on the preview, and harder than it did all week long on our reviews of Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live, where the hammer was brought down like it always is, with humor and style and grace, and most importantly, truth. And then if you want to see me in a little bit more of a positive light, you could check out all of my Mae Young Classic coverage, although I had to bring the hammer down on the Mae Young Classic episode 2. One of the only people I hear around talking the truth about the Mae Young Classic. I don't hold back. As much as I love the Mae Young Classic, I'm going to tell you the way it is. And if you missed it, it went up earlier today. Make sure you check out that video right now. And of course, make sure you come back Sunday to see our review and reactions. 100% honest, not holding back, not sugar-coated. No saccharin here, motherfuckers. It's straight black coffee to sip all night long and get your guys' minds right so that you are not blinded by this WWE bullshit. Thank you guys all who are already a member of the Sledgehammer Club. All of my Sledgeheads, I love each and every one of you more than words could even tell you guys. I appreciate all the love and support, as always, that you guys give me each and every single time I drop a video. Any of you new viewers who are still here with us at this point, make sure you hit that fucking subscribe button right now. You better do it or we're coming after you. And I'm telling you that in the happiest and nicest way. Because if I don't get you today, I'm going to get you to hit that subscribe button on another day. So you might as well just do it right now. You enjoyed yourself. You agreed with everything I had to say. And you had a great time, which is the most important thing. Hit that subscribe button right now. Become one of the hundreds of people that know that this is the absolute best and most fun and real show about professional wrestling on all of YouTube and across all of our audio platforms as well. Stay notified by hitting that notification bell. This way you don't miss the review and reaction show on Sunday. It will be delivered right to your inboxes. All you need to do, smash that ring bell next to the subscribe button. Don't forget to like this video, bash that thumbs up with your sledgehammers at home, and then share this video with each and one of your wrestling buddies all over the wrestling world so that we can continue to grow. We are so close to that 800. If you happen to subscribe and you are number 800, make sure you let me know in that comment section down below. I love to know who got those big numbers and who was my 800th subscriber, as we are on the march to 1K, which we are going to hit before the end of the year, and that's because of people like you who are going to hit that subscribe button right now. Do it. Do it. Yeah, all right. Thank you guys so much. If you're listening to us on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Podbean, or Spotify, make sure you do as we want you guys to do and get over to the YouTube channel, Sledgehammer TV, and subscribe over there and follow us as well. All of my stuff, every review, everything you guys listen to is always up and available first on the YouTube channel. So if you don't feel like waiting, this is the place for you guys to be. And of course, once again, thank you all so very much. Without you guys, I'm not sitting here and I'd just be talking to myself in a padded room about wrestling like a psychotic, because I don't really have many friends that I can talk to about wrestling, and they don't even care. They don't watch because the show's been garbage, and I don't want to show it to them and get them involved in something that's absolutely going to suck. So the rest of us have to stick together, and I want to thank you guys for being here with us as always. Guys, my name is Nick Nightmare. If you didn't catch it at the beginning, this is my trusty tag team, Thor the Sledgehammer, the Wrestling God of Thunder, and the official Sledgehammer of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. His tag team partner, the World Heavyweight Champion of Microphones, Mr. Blue, the Snowball Microphone. Hey there, Mr. Blue. It's so nice to be with you, brother. And it's so nice for us to be with you. Thank you all so very, very much. That is going to do it. And we are out of here. And we will see you next time right here. Sunday night on the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. Have a great night and try to enjoy Hell in a Cell.